another episode of TalkYOSpitTV. I'm your host Mario Harris, and today, man, we got talk about the Tennessee Titans. Man, whew, what they haven't done. Well, they haven't won. Let's say that. This is my third video doing this, man. Tennessee Titans, they've been doing a lot this week, so I had to scratch it and make a new one. I guess I didn't necessarily have to scratch it and make a new one, but I already knew that I didn't want to fully talk about the game this Sunday that happened. Well, this past Sunday that happened, man, since we got blown out by the Colts, which is obviously nothing new, honestly. But yeah, so I was like, I might as well just make one full video of everything. I have a lot to talk about today. More past the game, just a lot of Titan news basically that done took place this week. So without further ado, let's get into it, man. You know, the week three of the Titans, man, it was a lot worse than the first 2 weeks, man. Overall, how the team played. This team just seemed very sluggish coming into the game. They just didn't seem like they were up for the game, and like they were against the Broncos and the Rams. We lost 41-20, and the score of the game was never close. Besides it being 7-3 early in the first quarter. When we play in the Colts, they are division rivals. You expect them to get up for the game, but however, historically, against the Colts, we haven't really done too well. We are 33-14 against the Colts historically. When Payne Manning was the quarterback over there, he went 14-6 against the Titans. The only good thing about playing Peyton Manning is we beat the only one time we played the Colts in the playoffs was a Peyton Manning team, Colts team, and we won that game in the division round in the 2000. Um, it was a 1999 season, but it took place in January of 2000. And yes, that is the season that we did go to the Super Bowl, but however, we did lose to the Rams, unfortunately. But in that divisional game against the Colts, Eddie George, he rushed for 162 yards on 16 carries. He went crazy and one touchdown. He went crazy that game. Uh, don't we Titan fans miss having an elite running back? Not saying Tony Pollard ain't good, but he ain't on the level of Eddie George or Chris Johnson or Derrick Henry. So yeah, they just say that. Anyway, though, Andrew Luck when he was with the Colts, and I knew Andrew Luck used to tear us up, but I didn't know it was this bad until I looked it up. Andrew Luck went 11-0 against the Titans. Crazy. With the win margin of over at least 10-10. So basically, if we scored 10 points, the Colts had 20. We had 20, the Colts had at least 30. So, it's crazy, man. The Andrew Luck coach needs to tear us up. Like I said, I knew they did, but I just didn't think I didn't realize we never got out one win against them. That's crazy, man. So historically, the Titans have never done too well against the Colts, man. But like I said earlier, I'm not gonna talk fully about the game. I'm not gonna do play by play of the game like I usually do. I'm just kind of do a brief overview of the game since, like I said, we lost 41-20. So, with that being said, man, we're gonna start off with Cam Ward. He started the game off third play of the game with the interception with the pick six. Actually, it was his first interception of the year in 3 games, so I'm not really too mad at it. It is what it is. With that, I mean, I was kind of expecting him to go ahead and throw an interception sooner or later. A pick six is crazy to start the game off. I hate that much, but hey, it is what it is. But overall, man, his game wasn't too bad. He went 23 for 38, 219 yards with one touchdown, and of course that one interception. But the biggest thing about this game coming from him, he threw the most yards he's had thrown this season with that 219 yards, and he was only sacked 4 times. It was just the less times he's been sacked all season too. So I mean, maybe there's some improvement there in the offensive line and wide receivers getting open, I guess. Maybe you could say that. That's something good to look forward to going to the next games and whatnot. But hey, overall, we still lost the game. But it is what it is, man. The running game also was close to non-existent. Tony Pollard, he had 18 carries, excuse me, he had 16 carries for 45 yards and only one touchdown. So once again, man, the Titans offense just showing how unbalanced they really are. Continuously cannot sustain drive and had to settle for field goals, man. Once again, we had just settled. I think we only had one touchdown in this game. I mean, we had 2 touchdowns in this game, but it wasn't. By the time we had those 2 touchdowns, the game was already over and whatnot. So it wasn't nothing to be hyped on about. It just we are a team that just we just cannot finish drives and touchdowns for some reason. and we had to like we can get down the field. Getting down the field is not the problem with the Titans. We can get down the field and kick the field goal, but we just cannot score a touchdown for whatever reason. And well, a lot of it has to do is we're very unbalanced as a team, for sure. So I hate to say that, but it is what it is, man. The defense, man, they unfortunately could not stop Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, man. They had Daniel Jones looking like prime Peyton Manning, like looking like Andrew Luck. They call him Indiana Jones out there. That's funny. I like that nickname. Uh, but man, we just could not stop them boys for nothing, man. The defense, they overall just looked sluggish, looked out of sync. And they just flat out was not just prepared for the game. Like I stated, I mean, like I said earlier, the whole team didn't look prepared for the game. But the defense for surely didn't look prepared. Again, they missed out on a lot of tackles. They couldn't defend a cone, and continually they just kept giving up big game, big yardage, and that's what killed us again. Couldn't, like I said, they couldn't tackle. Man, one of them plays, Jonathan Taylor just ran through like 4 or 5 defenders and went in for the touchdown. Man, like it was just a horrible, horrible looking game on defense. We didn't once again we didn't get any sacks, and unfortunately we didn't get no takeaways. And this was the first game of the season in 3 games that we didn't have that our defense didn't commit. What our defense didn't make the offense commit a turnover. So I was kind of mad about that, man. But it's just like I said, once again, the defense just did not look prepared for the game, man. And that's just what it is. We couldn't stop the run. Jonathan Taylor had out of 137 rush yards the Colts had, Jonathan Taylor had 102 yards of those. So we just couldn't stop the run from Jonathan Taylor at all. Then Daniel Jones, he went 18 for 25 or 228 yards. And once again, like I said, he looked like prime Peyton Manning or prime Andrew Luck. So we just really was horrible, horrible show out for the Titans. And it was very inconsistent on both ends of the ball. Like I said, it was very unbalanced on offense, and unfortunately, the Titans go down another loss, and we are now 0-3 to start the season once again. I think we were 0-3 to start the season last year too. So it's just a horrible showing from our Titans, man, and rightfully so. The fans at the stadium they booed the Titans going into halftime, man, and it was. I mean, honestly, I can't be mad at them for booing them because we just did not look like a team that wanted to be out there. They did not look like a team that wanted to win, and it just was just a horrible horrible out. I actually stopped watching the game after like the third quarter because like man, I'm tired of watching this. But anyway, head coach Brian Callahan, he said after the game that the game was obviously disappointing and that they just did not do anything well enough, of course, well enough over the course of the game to put them in a position to win. And I'm just like, man, I'm glad he understands that. I mean, that was very obvious. But as I explained in my past videos about Coach Callahan, I just don't think he can manage the game and call plays on offense at the same time, man. It just seems like he has a lot going on with that. And I'm not sure if it's nervousness. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if he's not just understanding what's actually going on in the field. Is he talking to the other coaches about what's going on? Like I'm not sure what it is, but it just seems like he just can't manage the game and call plays at the same time. He don't ever seem like he got his team fully ready for the game. The players don't just seem fully ready for the game, and just penalties, 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 penalty. We lead the league in penalties. We were second in the league in penalties last season. Like it just, I'm not sure if he is Callahan addressing those in practices and film sessions or not, but it just keeps happening. Like why do we keep having all these penalties, man? And that is just hurting us. We had 8 penalties for 68 yards on Sunday. Like that is just crazy. That is very absurd to me because you cannot win games having all those penalties. You can't. So they it just the as an organization, Titans just needed serious change. And if that's Callahan gone out of there, then that's what it is. Unfortunately, I don't want nobody to lose their job. But at this point, it's like what else is there to be done? Somebody else going to call the plays and focus on managing the game if Callahan does stay. Like it's a serious mix up, serious change that needs to happen in for the Titans to start winning these games for sure, man. Uh, it just it just hasn't been a recipe of success of what they've been doing at all. It just really has. And then, but then you want to talk about the kicker Joey Sly. You know, he missed back-to-back field goals, both were from 60 yards. But after the first one, and he had a chance to kick the second one. You know, I think the at first the second one was from like 59 yards, 58 yards, something like that. But then they had a delay of game. Like, why are you having a delay of game? Call the timeout. You had a timeout left. Call that timeout. Like, I'm not understanding what was going on. So you take the delay of game penalty, and now it backs you up 5 yards, and now you have to kick a longer field goal, which ultimately he missed. So it's things like that. Like I said, Callahan needs help. He needs help managing the game and or calling. He needs help both actually, not and or he needs help calling plays and managing the game for sure. And that's why the Titan fan booed them. Like it was rightfully so for them to get booed, man. They just did not, as a whole, coaching staff or players, like they came to play. You know, those Titan players, they really should be ashamed of themselves, not coming into that home game ready to play, and they just didn't seem mentally prepared easily, man. So you know, it's really unfortunate that we had to start off 0-3 again because in the preseason, the on paper the team just seemed like it was a nice team. We had some players on injury on the offensive line, yes, but overall, a lot of our players on defense came back, so we just seemed like we were going to have a good season. But starting off 0-3 is a tough place to be in. And it's a deep hole to get out of. So we just got to figure something out for next week's game against another divisional rival, the Houston Texans. And so we just have to figure that out, man. But that brings me to my first piece of news or information, if you want to say, that has came out this week. Coach Callahan, he did give up his play calling duties and will be handling over to the quarterback coach Bo Hardigree. So Callahan, he has stated, uh, I'm sorry, he'll still be involved in the process, but the change will give him more flexibility during the week and on game day. So that's helping them out with managing the game to understand what's going on during the game. So he don't have to sit there and worry about what play should I call next. Yet the play clock is running down. So you know that definitely allows somebody else to call the plays. And he has said that the quarterback coach, like I said, called the play with the offensive coordinator definitely and Callahan. They definitely will be still hands on with everything. So I like to hear that the coaching staff is working with each other. I do like to hear that, and but I mostly love to hear that Callahan has given up uh the play calling duty to somebody else so he can handle managing the game and whatnot. So that is something good. Callahan has stated that, and it is a quote from Callahan. A lot of things you self reflect on with the start that we've had so far and things we have to get better at. And one of those things that I think will help our football team, help me get better as a coach and for our team is that I am going to hand over the play calling to Bo. So that's words of Callahan. So he is going to allow Bo Hardigree to take over. Now, during the Titans presser on this past Monday, Coach Callahan has also stated that they are evaluating everything that they're doing right now. So that's a whole. They're looking at what they need to improve on, which is a lot. So that is something good right there. Like I said, I'm not sure what they be doing in film sessions and things like that, but those are the things that come out in film sessions, evaluating what goes on in the game and also evaluating what goes on in practice, what works well, what doesn't work well too, so they can move forward and start get some wins in. You know, they need to do something to help the team improve and to win football games. So that's something to look forward to. He also took credibility in his role as a coach to not doing things well enough for them to win games. He also stated that players are playing hard and they want to win games. It just everybody has to be better across the board, and that's from players to coaches during these games. Callahan, he knows being down 0-3 is a deep hole to get out of, but he wants to He wants to fall back on the fundamentals of football to get back right. Callahan also knows penalties play a huge role in their losses and wants to clean them up. And then he understands why the fans boo him and are frustrated with their performance. So I'm glad he understands all that, man. So
we got to do a lot of things better. Everybody included in that, me as well. It's more about just trying to, how do we best put ourselves in position to go win a game. I think winning a game solves a lot of those problems. We've unfortunately lost way too many of them. And I love the way our team works, the way they prepare. We just got to play. We got to play better on Sundays. We have to coach better on Sundays. It's just the reality of where we're at, being 0-3, and every single thing gets magnified, and some things haven't worked out for us in those spots, and they're opened up to criticism, and that's the way it goes in the NFL. And fall back on fundamental football. That's the key. And I've been in holes before. I've been in places that have had poor records, that have had things not go their way, and you end up in these spots, and the only way you ever get out of it is you got to do things better when it comes to your fundamentals of coaching and playing, and you got to fight like hell. Yeah, I think that they have every right to be frustrated. Trust me, there's nobody that's any more frustrated than I am where we're at, and I understand it. And we haven't won enough games, and that's the reaction you get when you don't win those games. Yeah, I mean, everything's under evaluation right now at 0-3. Certainly, it's all a part of it. That's players in their roles. That's everything. I mean, we got to find a way to put ourselves in position to win a game. So we're evaluating everything, and I think there's things that we got to do better, and I got to do better.
During the presser, Callahan addressed certain players on how hard they worked in the practices and games. Veteran linebacker Kazir White got some action on Sunday. He got in for Cedric Gray, and White had a total of 3 tackles. And Callahan really liked what he's seen from him. It is all a part of the coaching staff evaluating players due to the many inactive players they have on the roster. So they have to bring in players, and like I said before, players will have to now play certain positions. Like they will play in the Rams of their position, but like in Kazir White, he may have to play a lot more right linebacker instead of left linebacker and things like that. So they just trying to see where they can plug in players and what works and what doesn't work.
We just wanted to see what Kazir could bring to help us. Again, against a team that was going to run the ball quite a bit, just to have a different guy that's played in there. Kazir's played a lot of football, and just to see what he could bring for us. We signed him to the practice squad, just like some of the guys we've claimed. With Jalen Armour Davis and C.J. Ravenel, and those guys are trying to see where they can help us. And those guys have all done a good job of getting up to speed, and Kazir's in the same boat.
Then offensively, Callahan likes to what he sees with his rookies, and I do too for sure, man. Cam Ward, Eric Ayomaner, and Shamir DK, they're all rookies, and they all been playing great so far this season, and they just getting better and better and better each game. So I love to see that, and I love the fact that, especially, I mean, obviously he's gonna have to use Ward; he's our starting quarterback, but especially with Ayomaner and DK, he's using them more and more and more. DK is more of a he's the wide receiver too, but DK is more on special teams with the kickoff returns and things like that. And then Io Maynard is becoming a great target for Ward. So I'm loving seeing them play in bigger roles and getting better and better each game, even though they are rookies and we do expect them to make mistakes. They have been playing pretty good lately. All 3 of them have been playing pretty good. Then the running back Tony Pollard, Callahan, he knows he's been playing hard. He sees he's been playing hard. It just ultimately his play hasn't got any success for them to win games yet. But Callahan, he knows that he knows the work that Pollard puts in and practices and whatnot, and then in games he sees that Pollard is trying and is playing hard, so he likes what he sees with that. But he does understand that losing a lot of these games, the negatives become the highlight, and it's obviously that's rightfully so with the negative coming to highlight. Uh, However, Callahan does feel that they are close to winning games than they are not winning games. So I guess that's a positive. With that being said, he also addressed Calvin Ridley. Calvin is a great player and he works very hard in practices, and he knows Ridley is frustrated with his own performance as we are frustrated with Ridley. Because everybody knows Ridley is a great wide receiver, is a good wide receiver in this league, and we all know that what Ridley can do and what help he can bring to this team, especially since he's not getting double teamed really. So we expect Ridley to do more. But like Callahan said, he understands that really works hard, and the fact that he knows really is frustrated, he knows that really will get better too.
I think our young players continue to step up and make plays. I've been really pleased with what Alec's done. Chim has been phenomenal in all the things that we've asked him to do as a returner, in the run game as a receiver, in the touch game as a receiver. Really pleased with those guys. And then I think Cam gets better every time he steps out there, and there's been a progression, and that's what you're looking for from young players. Is those guys continue to improve. That part I'm excited about. I think Tony Pollard's playing his tail off. He's given us everything he's got. And those are, I mean, there's definitely things that we're doing well, and losing games is what magnifies the negative things, and it's hard to get excited about things. But I really don't think we're far away as a football team from winning games, and that's the belief you have to have, and that's the belief that I have and our players have. And when you get into these moments, that's what you have to fall back on. We're closer than maybe it seems, but that's usually how it happens before you turn, and then we got to find a way to turn it. There's nobody that works harder than Calvin. There's no one that puts more effort into it and tries to do things the exact right way and puts the work in to go make the plays. I mean, his work, and what he's put into this to have the performance he's had through 3 games. I'm sure is incredibly frustrating for him, as it is for our team. As we need better from him, and he knows that too. That's not he knows exactly where he's at, and it's just hard when a guy puts that kind of work into it and doesn't get the performance as a result on Sundays, and that's always a hard thing to grapple with as a player and as a coach, because there's nothing that would tell you that that's going to be the case.
And then lastly, he thinks his offensive line is becoming better. He knows his O line is very young, but they are growing each game. They are stepping up in their roles, and that they have been placed in, and they have been stepped up in their role that they have been placed in because of the injuries to the starters. But ultimately, he wants the starters to be out there, and those injuries are keeping them away.
Yeah, I thought Blake Hance filled in and did well. I was actually really pleased with Blake's performance, being called on to come in. And again, we weren't sure, probably up until towards the end of the week whether or not he was going to take that kind of load, and he stepped in and played admirably. I thought it was a good performance coming off the bench like that, and being able to step in. I thought that both tackles did some good things. Was happy with that performance. I mean, you're missing 2 starters on the right side. You're always a little bit concerned about that. But I thought those guys stepped in and played well. There's a shot, certainly. I think we got to wait and see on Zeitler over the practice week, and JC will be the same way. See where he's at. There's certainly potential.
Now, however, this just came out. The biggest news from the Titans this week has been the trade of Jarvis Brownlee Jr. to the New York Jets, and I stated in my season expectation video at the beginning of the season that Brownlee Jr. is going to be a significant part to the defense. This is the second year, and he's already a starter. We was looking forward to Brownlee being a part of this defense going forward, and being a huge help to the secondary. However, we do understand that Brownlee has some problems with penalties, and then his fiery nature on and off the field, and he probably questioned the coaching staff on his play style before, because we all know how Brownlee can get. I'm sure he questioned the coaching staff on his playing style, because I'm sure the coaching staff had questioned him on his playing style, and that probably ultimately led to the reason why they, in my opinion, why they traded him. But I'm just still a little confused on why you would trade him, but you basically traded him for a pick swap. So Brownlee, like I said, he's in his second year. He was a fifth round pick, and he exceeded expectations and becoming a starter for the team. However, we traded Brownlee and 2026 seventh round pick to the Jets for a 2026 sixth round pick. So it's basically a pick swap. It allows me to think that the Titans didn't have any leverage to make any significant deals with anybody else. I did see that the Patriots were also another team looking to trade for Brownlee. But in my opinion, I would have been looking for at least a another player, not necessarily maybe another cornerback. We need an offensive line, so I've been looking for maybe an offensive line player uh, to get traded for Brownlee. Something, a pick swap is definitely, and in 2026 pick swap at that. In a late round 2026 pick swap at that is not what in my opinion, is the smartest option. I'm just saying. So Brownlee is a very physical, aggressive cornerback who will bring toughness and energy to the defense. His aggressiveness maybe is, like I said, the cause to a lot of penalties, but however, it also had worked in his favor a lot against big time receivers. He is also one of the better run stoppers, not only on the Titans team, but in his position in the league. The Titans have said that in the past that they want to draft and develop players, but once again, this is another player they have drafted and then ultimately let go. The most notably one in the recent year is linebacker Harold Landry, who now plays for the Patriots, who would definitely be a huge help on this team this year because Landry was also another great run stopper on defense, man. So to me, I think the Jets got over. You got on the Jets, you got Sauce Gardner on one side. Now you got Brownlee Jr. on another side. I think the Jets definitely got better. The Titans didn't get better with this trade. That's what also led me believe that Brownlee definitely said some things, maybe to the coaching staff that hurt them, that hit them deep. Maybe about the organization that hurt them, that hit them deep, that allowed them to go ahead and trade them. Because I can't just see that it was just penalty. And if it was just penalty, I can't see them just trading him just for a pick swap. So that's what I'm saying on that. But unfortunately, it happened, and what can we do? We just got to move on from it now, and hopefully we get better. Like I said, we got to play another division rival this Sunday against Houston in Houston too, if I'm not mistaken. So we just have to get better, have to figure those things out as a team because being down 0-3 is definitely a deep hole to get out of, man. But hey, that was my video on the Titans on this past week, man. Like I said, I wasn't gonna do play by play on against the Colts. I was gonna do more of just talking about the Titans and everything that went on this week so far with the Titans, man. Please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, man. Thank you to all my supporters that already subscribed and that's been giving me any pointers and anything like that. Please like, comment, share the video. If you want to comment something about that I may have missed on the Titans that went on this week, please let me know. We can definitely talk about that, man. But until next time, this is Talk Your Spit TV. I'm Mario Harris. Thank you.